Golden MegaMogwai here, and I got another Legends of Runeterra video for you guys today. And today I got quite the outrageous deck for you, as we're gonna showcase Katarina and Taric in a deck called Outrageous Rally, which is a concept that I've been working on for pretty much over a week now, actually. Because as you guys can tell, I've been taking a little bit of a small vacation before the new expansion is released, and I haven't been uploading nor streaming nearly as much as I regularly do. But that doesn't mean that I don't still play the game. I've been playing the game quite a bit all these days, and this is the main deck that I've been messing around with. I wanted to make use of my bit of a hiatus there to kind of like optimize and make sure that I could give you guys the best version of this deck that I could personally come up with. And this is a Rally Taric Katarina deck. It is, you could argue it's a bit of a mid-range list. We have a lot of overwhelm synergy and a lot of ways to capitalize on multiple attacks per turn, which is what ultimately we are doing with this deck. I put a lot of thought into this, and there's kind of a lot of very neat details, right? So I'm going to try to make this deck tech not super long, but I'm also going to explain, you know, everything there is to be explained about this list. So without further ado, let's just hop into it. You know, borrowing a bit of a quote from Phil DeFranco. So let's talk about the cards, shall we? We have Katarina and Taric, two champions that you rarely see played, especially Katarina, less so together. So this is not just a result of me wanting to play these two champions together because of reasons, right? These two champions actually make a lot of sense together, and I'm going to explain why. Taric is naturally a champion that benefits from attacking. He has a support ability that is triggered upon attack. So the more attacks that we can threaten our opponent with per turn, the better Taric will ultimately be, even though he cannot copy the same spell that he copied on a prior attack on the same turn. Got to keep that in mind. But the reason why we really want to benefit from Rally with Taric is because of leveled up Taric. Once we level up Taric with this deck, which is the primary focus of this build, by the way, it should be your main objective initially, alongside leveling up Katarina, but that can take, this is more of a priority, right? Because once we level up Taric, every time we attack, the important thing is my supporting ally and I cannot take damage or die this round. Truly outrageous. We are going to be able to outpower our opponent and just not have to worry about removal, unless we're facing the likes of Targon with Hush themselves. If we're facing Go Hard with Twisted Fate, what can they have? Vengeance? We are no longer vulnerable to that. They have no way to deal with our attacks, and that is why we're playing this deck, because there are many matchups in this more slow-paced, greedy metagame that we can really benefit from with this deck, and we can actually feed on and get a really solid win with. The problem with this deck, and the reason why it is not a top tier list, I cry every single time, is because of the fact that it has some really bad matchups against some very popular mid-range decks. The likes of Ash Sejuani Frostbite and Shen Fiora mid-range dump on us pretty hard, because they just kind of like overpower us. One deck just stops our attacks and our Katarinas from leveling up with Frostbites, while the other deck just stops our attacks with barriers and uses their challengers to remove our key units like Taric from the board. And they do a very good job at picking us off, since our curve, as you guys can tell, is not really the most high-statted curve you've seen in most decks recently, right? Like, we have a 4-mana 3/4, a 1-mana 1/1, you know, 2-mana 3/2 is fine, but then 3-mana 1/1 leaves a little bit to be desired, you know, like we're not that thick initially, because we have a lot of combat tricks and a lot of effects to buff up our weaker units that pay the price of having lower stats in exchange for really solid abilities and keywords. Like, for example, the Affectionate Poro. This may seem really off, like you've never actually seen this card being played in a competitive deck, right? But it actually makes a lot of sense here. Initially, it's a slightly worse version of a Fleet Feather Tracker, but with this deck, the 1-mana Challenger goes a long way, because we have so many ways to buff it, as we have Pale Cascades, we have ways to protect it with some Blitz Vigor, and of course, we have the ability to utilize it alongside Taric, as we can give it extra protection with the toughness from Taric, as we use it to drag in units and pick off the opponent's board little by little, while also removing key blockers from our attacks, since we do want to do everything that we can to make sure that we can keep Taric alive, as he is the most important card in this deck. This deck is much stronger if you draw Taric than if you don't. So just keep that in mind. As we also have likes of Mentor of the Stones that can buff this to a 3/3. There's a lot of like, as long as we keep this alive, you know, from pings. Once we start the buffs going, Affection of Poro really does go a long way because we have a lot of ways to grant as well, right? Which including Taric's own signature spell. And once we have Taric leveled up, being able to give, you know, invulnerability, let's go with that, to a challenger unit, and then having multiple attacks with Katarina can allow us just some very nasty offensive turns. As the rest of our curve is comprised of units that generates gems. We have a full set of Mountain Goat and Mentor of the Stones, alongside a couple of copies of Gift Giver, basically giving us all viable options of gem generators in this build, alongside really good protective, reactive battle tricks here. We have Bastion, we have, like I mentioned prior, Sun Blessed Vigor, we even have Guiding Touch to heal up our weakened units, and we use these alongside the likes of Elixir of Wrath and Pale Cascade and Might to synergize with Taric and also work for our Arbiter of the Peaks. The Arbiter of the Peak is also one of the main reasons why we're also playing Kato the Arm, and we're focusing so much on gems and support to begin with. We're going one step further with the synergy, and we're really stepping it up in that sense, as we are working for 0 mana Arbiter of the Peaks, so that we can combine these with leveled up Katarinas to generate rally effects and surprise our opponent with just really ridiculous tempo out of nowhere to work for a late game finish. The Overwhelm goes a long way with all the buffs that we have naturally, and that's basically the main idea of this deck. The main idea of this deck is to punish greedy control decks. Decks that take quite a while, they want to ramp into something, or you know, they want to draw through their deck to get go hard, etc. We're going to be able to really punish these slower tactics by just going crazy with multiple attacks. You know, even though we're not really applying a lot of pressure early on, we build up a decent board, and once we get Taric on the board and we work for the level up and we get the Katarina level up as well, like the multiple attacks. You guys know Rally is my favorite champion, and this deck just goes bananas. But keep in mind, there are bad matchups, and you know, things can be tricky. And this is not the perfect list by any means, but it is a very unique strategy that uses 2 very underplayed champions, and it puts in the work. So I think you guys will enjoy today's video, because I think I got some really good gameplays. Even though they are pretty long, I think they are definitely worth the views. So hopefully you guys enjoy, and that's basically all I gotta say. Big shout outs to Whirling Death. This may catch you guys off a little bit off guard, because that's the only interaction that we have alongside a full set of Hush. Unfortunately, our interaction is relatively limited, because most of it is applicable to the combat phase, which, you know, we would rather have stuff like single combat over Whirling Death. But one of the main reasons to play Whirling Death is because of Katarina. We can use it as an alternate way to level up Katarina, as we can respond to a combat-timed single target removal like Vengeance, amongst other things, and we can use Whirling Death to strike with Katarina so that she's recalled before that spell resolves, right? So I like Whirling Death because of that, and because of the fact that we can remove a potential blocker from one of our thick Overwhelm units, like a beefed up Arbiter of the Peak, as we Whirling Death the blocker and get to connect for a full hit with the Overwhelm unit, right? Which is why I really like this card as a 2-of in this deck. And that's basically where I'll end it, because this has been a longer deck tech than usual. I'm a little bit rusty, but I wanted to explain everything. Make sure everything was very clear. And if you guys have any questions, let me know. I have a lot of, I feel a lot of pride in this deck. You know, I put a lot of thought into it, and it puts in the work. And I think it's very fun to both play and watch. So that's where I'll leave it at. Thank you guys for watching. Check out the games. Let me know what you think. I'll see you guys around. All right, here we go. As we're facing KAT round 1. They're pretty high ranked, actually. They're playing Tahm, Kench, Soraka. Now, this is a pretty interesting matchup. Can't really say I've practiced it too much, but one of the key things here is, first of all, I'm going to drop the, actually, I'm going to keep the Guiding Touch, yeah. I'm going to keep this entire hand, because I believe Katarina is indeed our way to win here. We need to be able to threaten our opponent with multiple attacks. That's kind of like one of the ways we can overwhelm this sort of strategy. And Taric is always a card that you keep in your opener, because Taric is the most important card in this deck. In fact, it doesn't feel great to say, but this deck kind of sucks without Taric. Like, if you don't draw Taric, it feels bad. Alright, I'm going to pass here, because I'm going to make it so that if he wants to play Boxipus, you know, I can punish that. Obviously not gonna go for a Pill Cascade without the Nightfall boost. Let's see if we see Boxipus here. You just gotta be worried about Boxipus. I mean, you can't really play Boxipus though, because we have
Let the bloodshed begin. To heal and protect.
Alright.
I'm ready to shine.
I'm gonna go Taric. This deck lacks interaction for the most part. Like, they have Hush, amongst other things, but... I kind of just want to use my, my Affectionate Poro here.
Never submit.
Yeah, I just want to use my Affectionate Poro here, just to get her out of the way.
Violence solves everything.
Just remove the blocker.
I
Tahm
will
Kench.
find the goodness in you, River King.
Hope only provides temporary sustenance. I'm sure there's something for my tastes.
If I go for Bastion, you know, Shakedown, and the likes of Hush can counter my play. This is a very important moment. If I can develop Bastion into the Affectionate Poro, I can lead off for like a very strong attack next turn.
The fight never ends.
I have to try. If they disrupt this, yeah, we're gonna lose our. This is unfortunate.
Be at peace. You leave me live with purpose.
Oh, I don't require a menu.
It's tough, man. I'm running really low on mana.
The journey is difficult. These will protect you.
I probably should have passed there, considering he gave me the pass there. I gotta make him burn
This establishment's fair.
his mana as well as I can.
Tommy boy.
Oh, I'll be happy to accommodate, Pablo.
Be at peace.
Where are you off to?
Take heart.
It's tricky to navigate around this Tahm Kench here. I need to I have the Katarina level up, but I don't have the board right now.
Looking into the future, I see purple.
I know I come off like I'm complaining, but after taking off like a bit of a break, getting back into this, like, you know, when you play this game non-stop and everybody has to emote like the shit out of you. I know I'm talking about first world problems here, right? But I just I felt like offering my perspective. Well, I kind of wish there was like a, you know, a permanent mute function. I'm gonna play Katarina. I want I want to lure him into that. Yeah.
It's too late now.
Wait, what? I had no idea it worked like that. I had no idea, dude. Unfortunately, I could technically attack with this, but I have 7 cards. That means, I mean, I can always know. What if I have nothing to? Yeah, this is a bad idea.
The possibilities are infinite.
We have to try to like
Take
keep
heart.
going wide. That's basically
Live with
our
purpose.
objective. I need to draw some good stuff here though. Like I need to draw something that can allow me to.
There's a meal.
Okay. Man.
It is me!
I'm gonna play Kato.
Take heart. Live with purpose.
Mystical levitation requires concentration.
My opponent's just doing a better job than me at going wide. And with this Soraka, I just don't have the attack.
They say these were from the Protector himself.
Celestial power.
Up top!
You are better than this.
Oh, you're a wee numpty!
I know I'm pumping up the Star Spring. We have to rely on multiple Katarina plays next turn.
Sapphire, gem of our divine patron.
And that includes...
I'm sure there's something for my tastes.
Floaty crystals.
Ooh, you wee scruff!
Take heart. Live with purpose. You spurn my gift?
I'm gonna go for the Hush here. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Never.
So what's in store for me?
I need time for commune, Tahm. This you know.
Only the worthy join the stars.
Problem is, breaking through here is gonna be very hard. I lose to Star Spring here.
They say these were from the Protector himself. Blood for Noxus!
This is outrage.
Go no further.
Interesting block here.
No going back.
The Star Child! I'll clear a path for you.
Good to see you too, Vin. Witness the blood.
This will one-shot everything. This can, like, he can still... Yeah, this is better. He still only survives. He still only goes to 21, so we still have another turn to get him. And now we gotta go all in. Now we gotta go all in, ladies and gentlemen.
These gems grant a wearer harmony.
It is time.
I understand.
He's already played like 2 hushes, right?
How delectable.
No, that's my hush. That's my hush. That's my hush. He's played at least 1. I know he's played 1, yeah. Only 1. 19 cards. Okay.
Take heart. Live with purpose.
I think I need to Bastion. No, but if... No, I need to be able to attack again. I need that to not be a hush. I could go for a Bastion, but I need to kill him this turn, otherwise I lose. Like, that's why I can't. I could go for a Bastion to protect against the hush. But by doing this, I knock out Tahm Kench, I get back Tarik. And I have the ability to play Katarina and knock him out, baby. There we go. Woo!
Victory is a
Oh,
beauty.
that was beautiful. Oh, that game felt like it took forever. Oh my god, 20 minutes. 20-minute games. I probably was like very silent during a good portion of it at that point because it was really intense. There was a lot to think about, man. Like I was just trying to do my best to navigate around the Star Spring lethal. I got a lot of damage early on, right? With that sacrificing my challenger to push in 10. But then from that point onwards, things got really out of hand. Navigating around the Tahm Kench was super tricky because we don't really have much interaction ourselves besides our own hushes and Whirling Death, right? Which is not really ideal in a matchup like that, even though you can find ways to enable it, right? We didn't draw it anyway, so it didn't matter. But yeah, it got tricky. Like we just could not keep our board. We did draw into Tarik, but the fact that Tahm Kench took him away, I didn't really expect the Katarina interaction to work that way. I'm gonna go ahead and I probably should have acted like I expected. At least I can come off smart. But yeah, that was game 1. So let's go for another one. Okay, Leona and Mr. Soul. So this is another matchup in which Rally is going to be very important because they are, as a mid-range deck, they are a little bit slower. We're always going to be mulling away the Arbiter of the Peak. We don't need him in our opening hand to start working for that. I do like Hush, but I don't think I need it in my opener either. I'm going to drop everything that's not Pale Cascade. And why am I keeping a Combat Trick in Pale Cascade? Because it's a pretty good card. And we keep good cards here. I could drop the Affection of Poro, but I'm not going to do so. I want to be able to combine it potentially with Pale Cascade, even though we're likely to see a Solari Shield bearer here. But playing this, keeping the Pale Cascade option open is really neat. They have healing anyways, so I'm actually not going to attack. Even though I'm probably missing out on 1 damage, I don't think it's very relevant because, like I said, they have health gain with Guiding Touch and the likes of Star Shaping, which they're definitely playing. For 6 mana, though, I don't know what they can do to my Katarina. I don't think they have challenge. I mean, they're playing Demacia, but I'm pretty sure they're only playing Demacia for single combat. That's completely fine. You can hit me for 3, I don't care. We could see a Hush though. Single combat is not a thing. We have the answer, but it's nice to know that it's not a thing regardless. Let's just attack with Katarina.
You cannot sway me.
Yeah, there's the hush. To be expected. Well, may as well clear you. I could just counter with another Whirling Death. But I like Whirling Death because of his flexibility. I'm gonna go with Vigor. He could, I mean, what if he has a Pale Cascade? He could counter me with a Pale Cascade here. He needs another sync. Like, Seal Combat is the only thing that stops this. I'm gonna go Whirling Death. Because this plays around Pale Cascade. Bit of an expensive turn, you know. We spend 6 mana just to navigate around the 2 mana spell, going down in mana disadvantage. But we get to preserve our board, and our Katarina lives to fight another day, which is really important.
Our sun will not set today. Devotion through battle.
I'm gonna take that hit. Well, let's see.
Only fools hesitate.
I'm gonna attack again. He needs another hush. 7 cards in hand versus my 6. Nice. We finally get it.
Gets in my way.
We finally get the Katarina level up. Hardest thing to do with her. Now, I can't say we can chill back and relax because we're not there yet.
We chart our path by the stars.
I could play Katarina again for another attack. Let's see what he discards. Okay, not the Celestial that he generated. What is that?
One star's whoopsie is another spark.
Eclipse Dragon. Alright. So there's 2 Celestials here. This could have been played to generate a Celestial so that he can play something here, which is important to note. Regardless of what happens here, I have to Pale Cascade for you.
No going back.
Because I would like to get rid of... Okay. I like that bestie. Knocking out the Mountain Scryer is very important. Okay, so he gets the Daybreak effect, but he doesn't get the value, which is really key. Even though healing could be nice, I'm gonna be targeting my own units because this does allow me to, you know, speed up my Arbiter of the Peak. Bum, 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 bum. I can always Pale Cascade my Mountain Goat to trade into Raven. Taking 7 damage is not ideal. I want to make use of my mana a little bit. I want to buff my Mountain Goat. Can I take this hit? The downside is that if he gets this kind of hit off on me, I need to deal with this thing.
Beauty and life. Your arrogance is impressive.
It is the least impressive thing about me.
I need to try to outmuscle him. Problem is he has... Like, this Aurelion Soul is a little bit too big. But I need to get some,
It's time to shine. Unyielding.
bit late.
Ooh, you're interesting.
Overpowering Aurelion so is gonna be easier said than done. But
My strength is that of the mountain.
we prevent the level up here, so as of now, we don't have to worry about like 0 mana celestial spells, but that's like
Now they'll pay attention.
that's not the biggest of our worries anyways. The biggest of our concerns is that we're just getting straight up out muscled here. Like we drew into Taric a little bit too late, unfortunately, and that's one of the downsides of this deck, right? Like against other mid-range decks, even if they are slow ones like this, if you don't draw Taric,
More courage than brawn, I'm afraid.
your deck is like a billion times worse. Like this deck is so much. This deck is actually really bad if it doesn't draw Taric, which sucks to say, man. But it's like Taric speeds up our Arbiter of the Peak generation. There's a lot of neat things. Like Taric gives us the challenger value as well. I mean, even though Katarina can do that too.
Let the bloodshed
I'm gonna drop Katarina. Yeah, not having Taric early on really hurt us here. Like, we really needed to get value out of it. We have to work for the level up, right? If we manage to level up Taric, leveled up Taric in a matchup like this, even though we do have to take Hush into account, is just is amazing, right? It's just insane. Like I said, it also speeds up the Arbiter because we can't really play the Arbiter.
Is the one true light.
blood for Noxus.
How middling.
If I can somehow get rid of Aurelion Soul here. I really need him to not have the, because unfortunately that breaks my spell shield. and we get judgment. We cry every time. I had to try. Like I said, we got out-muscled. It happens. I do believe even a matchup like that, though, if we curve out into Taric, it ends up really differently. Hopefully I can, you know, have a game that actually showcases that, as we'll try to, you know, at least end it on a good note in the last game, because these games have been taking way too long. So I think I'm only gonna be able to get 3 games for today, unfortunately. So let's try to go out for a win. And naturally, go hard is definitely a matchup we could expect. I'm starting to like believe that I have to like hard mulligan for Taric with this deck. Like I actually think that's the correct way to play it. Let's drop the Hush, pretty useless. Let's drop the one Guiding Touch as well. Another Guiding Touch can be useful. I also love seeing Katarina there, and Bastion is neat. We gotta try to delay the Go Hard game plan as much as we can, as naturally Go Hard is a card that pretty much nukes through our board, and our prime objective is to level up Tarik. That's basically what we're gonna be focusing this entire game on. So we don't mind passing the first few turns, even though it could be nice to have a 1-drop to apply some pressure. That 1-drop can actually just very easily become
There's nothing to fear.
Go Hard food, right? So
You won't suffer long.
so early aggression from Elise.
No going back.
Where do you stand on cold shots?
You know, unless he has another Elise.
It's just a neck.
Yeah, I could be enabling another Elise here, but you know, this is not an Elise deck, so I don't really think the odds are in his favor. I could attack with Katarina here, but I think I would rather keep her as a blocker. Because what Katarina does is if he wishes to attack with Elise,
Packed him good.
yeah, okay. We could very easily be dealing with this is a turn. This is where I want to play Tarik kind of so.
Each life a rare jewel.
Even though I have double Bastion and they do have this, it's basically Go Hard. So I'm gonna attempt to preserve my Katarina alive. I really do want to develop. Katarina. Tarik this turn. I was banking on him not having double Go Hard in the top 7 cards of his deck, but
I'm not done.
sometimes that just happens. Sometimes that just happens. We couldn't really scout too much for it.
No further.
Before he's also playing Black Spear.
Ye started without me.
Seems to be playing like a pretty standard version of the deck anyways. It just really sucks that we
Every gem you bestow reflects the beauty of our world.
Each is made in your name, Protector.
Deal me in. The fight never ends. Dazzling. Never submit.
You poor thing. Scratch.
Alright, so because he used the gold card there, his level up is gonna be slowed down. Okay, that's 2 Go Hards at the very bottom.
Keep up, keep up.
I'm gonna develop the goat here. I don't have to worry about Go Hard on the Gift Giver because of the spell shield. It's safe to assume that they have drawn into a Go Hard.
Woo!
Yeah, this is fine. This has like spell shield, which is really relevant.
Sapphire, gem of our divine patron.
I'm gonna go with this.
the mountain. Sharp. Unyielding.
Let's go with this. As we're getting the Arbiter of the Peak down, we want to surprise our opponent with it.
These gems grant awareness, harmony.
A game. Go on then. Watch the ball, folks.
We must protect the peak.
I will dispatch the unworthy.
Okay, so he's one card draw away. We do want to resort to Hush.
Silver I talk, for gold I feast it.
Now this game's heating up.
Through the coral!
It's time to shine.
Let's go for Might here.
Never submit.
Gonna open attack before our opponent can do anything. Because this way, it's harder. It's very hard for him to get the gold card out of Twisted Fate for first. That's a lot of damage. I'm gonna go for this. And now we go for the Whirling Death. Got him! Got him, baby! There we go!
Victory is a thing of beauty.
Perfect. That's the line I wanted, in case you're wondering. Alright, so, perhaps the longest session that I've ever had for just 3 games. But I guess, I mean, it's not like this, I mean, this deck is a little bit slow in certain aspects. But it's also like some of the matchups that we got as well. That first match was dragged out so much. That was actually crazy. I even got triggered by like the emotes there for a second as well. I was so into that game that that's kind of what happens when I get really competitive, I guess. Okay, so yeah, that's basically all I have to say. I feel a little bit rusty. Like I take a few days off and then all of a sudden I don't know how to record videos anymore. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and a little bit of Taric Katarina action. I've been playing this deck a lot these past few days, mostly in normal queue, though, because you know, it is not a top tier deck. It has a lot of bad matchups in the meta. Like I said, Fiora Shen. I probably mentioned this in the deck tech. You know, Fiora Shen. Ashe Sejuani are 2 of the worst matchups out there, and those are pretty popular decks, right? But there are some very, there's a lot of matchups that you can definitely abuse though, and that's what I really like about this list, right? It punishes greedy decks like crazy, unless they're like super unit based, you know, and thick like Aurelion Soul. But stuff like Anavia Control, FTR, etc., we could really punish with Rally and our crazy Taric value. And overall, it's just a really fun deck to play, and a combination of champions that you probably haven't seen ever, or in a while at least. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. So that's basically all I gotta say. Have a solid day. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for Legends of Runeterra content. And that's basically it. Have a solid day. I'll see you tomorrow.